This is how you destroy an NPC without taking any damage, and this is how you get free double XP. These are 19 beginner tricks pros abuse that you don't. The very first glitch that I got here is gonna let you take absolutely 0 damage when you're fighting an NPC, and it works with every single boss in the game. First of all, you need to find a thin wall. You just need to lure the boss to the side of the wall, and you need to go on the opposite side. And once you equip your fighting style or sword or whatever your weapon of choice is, you're going to be able to hit your enemy through that wall without them being able to do any damage to you. But one bad thing about this glitch is that it does not work with bosses that have area of damage attacks. So a good example of this is the Island Empress, because even if you glitch her behind the wall, you're still going to take damage from some of her abilities. And let me tell you, there aren't many bosses in the game that have area of damage attacks. At least when you're close to them, that is. Overall, this glitch is still one of the most useful glitches in the whole game, because you can literally have like 100 HP and you can defeat a boss that has like 2000. The next trick that I got here is a follow-up of the first one. This is the Fountain City quest. When you first join the game's actually going to tell you to do the quest on the starter island, but there's a way to gain a butt ton of levels without doing that. What you have to do is, as soon as you launch the game, you instantly have to hop in a boat and go over to this huge fountain. You literally cannot miss it. You have to go to the specific NPC. You don't need to accept any quest, and then you just have to trap them behind this wall. I know this isn't a full wall, but it works on half walls as well. Once you've done this glitch properly, you're going to see that the NPC is trying to hit you, but they won't be able to do any damage to you. Then all you have to do is spam the crap out of this enemy with your basic combat fighting style. It's going to take you a while, but you're eventually going to kill the NPC and get your hands on a butt ton of levels. This is basically just going to help you skip the first island and even sometimes the second one, depending on how many NPCs you choose to kill. But overall, I recommend killing about 3 NPCs and heading back to the quest giver to just do your quest like normal. Moving on, the next thing every beginner Blox Fruit player should know about is fruits. Fruits are a key aspect of the game, and there's a reason the game is called Blox Fruits. The fruits are basically something that you eat that gives you a random power depending on what type of fruit you eat. And there's 3 categories of fruits. The first category is beast. Having a beast fruit means that you have a transformation. The next is elemental, and for this, they're usually based off a certain element, and you also get a passive power where any NPC that's a lower level, then you won't be able to do any damage to you. So these fruits are usually good for grinding if you are in the lower seas. Then we got the natural type Blox Fruits, which are just fruits that don't fall into either category. And there's actually a way to get fruits without grinding. You just simply have to buy them with Robux, but not everyone can do that. And like I mentioned before, elemental fruits are extremely good for grinding, because keep in mind you get the elemental immunity that you don't get with normal fruits. So I'm going to be telling you about a few of these elemental fruits. The very first fruit that I want you guys to know about is the flame fruit. This is a pretty basic fruit that costs a total of 250,000 belly or 550 Robux. Another really good elemental fruit that you can get your hands on in the first sea is the light fruit. This is honestly one of the best fruits for grinding because it has a passive ability that acts like a sword. We also have the magma fruit, but it's going to be pretty difficult for new players to get their hands on something like this unless you get extremely lucky. Moving on, the next thing I'm going to be telling you about is how to upgrade your stat points properly. There's a total of 5 different stats in the game. The first one is melee, the second one is defense, the third one is sword, the fourth one is gun, and the fifth one is Blox Fruit. When you upgrade your melee, it basically increases the damage that you do with your fighting style, and it also increases your energy. So melee is kind of a basic requirement for most people because it's literally a 2-in-1. You get 2 different things out of it. You upgrade your energy as well as the damage that you do. Next up, we got defense, which is also a pretty basic one. You're going to need a lot of health if you're going to be fighting pretty powerful enemies. The next one is sword, which is pretty self-explanatory. You increase the damage that you do with swords. Then we got gun, which is also the same thing for guns. And then we got Blox Fruit, and once again this increases your fruit damage. But if you upgrade your stats incorrectly when you first join the game, you won't actually be able to reset them. So make sure you start doing them properly as soon as you start. What I recommend doing is focusing a lot of stat points on your melee. That's going to make it so that you can do a lot of damage at the start, because once you join the game, you're actually not going to be dying to NPCs that often. I only recommend upgrading your defense stat points if you actually start dying to NPCs. The next thing I recommend new players to abuse are codes. Codes are extremely easy to find. I'm literally going to tell you about all of the current active codes. The first one that I got here is Fight for Fruit, and this gives you 20 minutes of double XP. Then we got Kid_Reset, which gives you a free stat reset. Then we got Sub to Official Newbie, which gives you double XP for 20 minutes. Then we got Story, which also gives you the same thing. Then we got Big News, which gives you the Big News title. Then we got Bloxy, which gives you another 20 minutes of double XP. Then we got Chandler, which literally gives you 0 belly. It's just kind of a meme code. Then we got NU_is_pro, and this also gives you double XP for 20 minutes. Then we got FUD10, which gives you 1 belly, which is once again a troll. Now the codes I'm going to mention are all going to give you double XP for 20 minutes. JCWK, Kid Gaming, Magic Busk, Star Code Hero, Straw Hat Main, Sub to Captain Mai, Sub to Dirock, Sub to Fur 999. Now this next one is going to give you double XP for 30 whole minutes, and this code is Sub to GamerRobot_XP1. And if you write Sub to GamerRobot_Reset1, this is going to give you another stat reset. Then we got Sub to Newmaster123. This is going to give you double XP for 20 minutes. Same with the Tantai Gaming as well as the Great Ace. And the final code we got here is Sub to Uncle Kizer, which gives you a free stat reset. And as you can see, Blox Fruits has a butt ton of codes, so you would be kind of wasting them if you didn't take advantage of them. The next thing that you should know at the very start of the game is about these 2 specific swords. These are beginner swords, but I recommend you guys to get your hands on them as soon as possible because they do help boost your overall damage output. These are the Katana and the Cutlass, and the reason I'm telling you about both of them at the same time is because they're literally the exact same sword, just a different skin. They also come with 2 special abilities. The first one is the Quiet Rush ability, where you just dash straight forward, dealing damage to anything that you dash into. Then we got the Air Slash ability, where you just shoot off an air slash and it deals damage to whatever it hits. Pretty basic. trick. These swords are good to get at the start, but I don't recommend keeping them till you're done with the first sea. You should get your hands on other swords once you notice that you're doing less damage with these swords. Next up, I'm going to be telling you about one of the basics for grinding. You have to be grouping up your enemies when you fight them, especially if you have area of damage attacks. And I guarantee you 99% of the time, at least one of the items that you're carrying is going to have an area of damage attack. It's going to let you deal an exponential amount of damage at the same time because you're damaging multiple people with the same attack. It's also going to make it so you can grind your enemies 10 times faster. And if you're only hitting one enemy at a time, then you're kind of just wasting your attacks. The next thing I'm going to be telling you about is pretty basic. It's how to utilize your dash. It's not as important as some of the other tricks on this list, but this is also something that's going to help you save a lot of time because it's going to help you get to your location a lot faster. This is how you use your dash normally in the game. You kind of just spam it and you just keep dashing straight forward. And this is how you use the B-hop version of the dash, where you basically just land for a second and then dash. This makes your dashes a lot faster and you're going to notice that once you learn how to use them. Another way that you can use your dash is to fight against NPCs by using the dash hit method, which is the best method in game to deal damage to your enemy with if you're low on health. The correct way to fight the boss is just by walking next to the boss, hitting them and instantly dashing away before they can use any attack on you. This makes it so that you can get away without taking any damage. But you do have to master this technique to be able to do this properly. And trust me, that's no easy task. Another thing that you should be doing is setting your spawn point on every island that you come to. This is very useful because you can get back to the island anytime that you want. Imagine you're all the way at the prison, but you want to go to the jungle to roll a fruit. Instead of going to the jungle, rolling a fruit, and driving your boat all the way back, you can literally just go to the jungle, roll a fruit, and just teleport back instantly. That's how useful setting your spawn point is. This next trick is going to help you get your hands on some cash extremely fast. And this trick is specifically made for beginner players because just the way that you can farm these chests is extremely easy. All you have to do is head over to the pirate village and you don't even need to meet the level requirement to be here. You just have to find the island. Once you get here, all you need to do is collect this chest right here, collect this one up here, and collect this one that's inside the house. Once you do that, you just have to simply server hop, go into a new server, and just keep repeating this process how many ever times you want. So you can just get them for free without waiting for the cooldown. It's literally like an inbuilt cheat. The next thing I'm going to be telling you about is a specific fruit. This is the smoke fruit. I've mentioned this in a couple of my previous videos, but this is something that every single new player should know about. The smoke fruit is technically the worst elemental fruit in the game, but it does have two things that make it extremely overpowered to use. Since it is the worst elemental fruit, that also makes it the cheapest, so you can get your hands on it pretty easily. And it also does have the highest stock chance out of all the other elemental fruits. Once you get your hands on this fruit, all you have to do is unlock the smoke bomber ability. This is basically going to make it so that you can deal damage to your enemies without them being able to hit you. Because when you use this ability, you're going to be flying high in the sky, and you're just going to be dropping smoke bombs on your enemies, and they won't be able to reach you. Because I guess Blox fruit NPCs are just kind of dumb. I mean, they are NPCs after all. Moving on, the next thing I'm going to be telling you about is this NPC, and it's extremely important that you know about these two NPCs. The first one is the Blox fruit dealer. The Blox fruit dealer basically just has fruits in stock for you, so every time you talk to him, he's going to offer you a certain amount of fruits. And in the first sea, he's located at the Pirate Starter Island, the Marine Starter Island, as well as Middletown. So it should be pretty easy to find him. But keep in mind, this guy actually does have two fruits that are always in stock. The first one is the kilo fruit, and the second one is the spin fruit. And the reason for this is because these fruits are just overall not very good. Moving on, the next NPC that I got here is the Blox fruits gacha. And this guy is also an extremely important NPC. He basically just lets you roll a fruit from him, but you do have to be at least level 50, which means you do have to grind a bit to talk to this guy. But trust me, this guy is definitely worth it. And the amount of money that you have to pay him actually depends on what level you are. So if you're a lower level, then you even need to grind that much to roll a fruit from him. That's pretty much it.